So right now, there are over 10,000 MCP servers publicly available for Claude Code. 10,000. And if you have spent any time trying to figure out which ones to actually install, you know exactly how overwhelming that is. Every list has different answers. Every creator has their favorites, and most of them are experimental, broken, or solving a problem you don't have. So today, I am going to make this simple. There is one MCP server that every single Claude Code user needs to install first. One. And once you see what it does, everything else makes sense. Let's get into it. So real quick, what is an MCP server? Think of it like a plugin that gives Claude Code access to real external systems. By default, Claude Code is powerful, but it is contained. It can read your local files, run terminal commands, write code, but it cannot reach into GitHub, query your database, message your team, or interact with anything outside your local machine. MCP servers fix that. They give Claude a standardized way to connect to external tools so it can actually do things in those systems, not just generate text about them. And the one that changes everything, the one that turns Claude Code from a code generator into an actual participant in your workflow, is the GitHub MCP server. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. GitHub, that's the pick? But stay with me because this is not just about pushing commits. The GitHub MCP server gives Claude direct read and write access to your entire GitHub account. Issues, pull requests, repositories, code search across everything. And when you combine that access with Claude's ability to reason and execute, you stop being the middleman between your codebase and your tools. Let me show you exactly what that unlocks. The first thing it changes is issue management. Right now, when you find a bug, you open GitHub, read through the issue, come back to Claude, explain the context, and then start working. With the GitHub MCP server, that entire first half disappears. Claude reads the issue directly. You just tell it the issue number, and it pulls the full context, the description, the comments, the linked files. It understands the problem before you type a single line of instructions, and it can write back too, update labels, post comments, close issues when the work is done, all from inside your Claude Code session without switching a single tab. The second thing it changes is pull request review. This is the one where it gets really interesting. Instead of manually reviewing diffs and leaving comments, you tell Claude to review a PR, and it does the full analysis. It checks the changes, surfaces improvement suggestions, flags potential issues, and can write the review comments directly to GitHub. For solo developers, this means you have a second set of eyes on every PR. For teams, it means Claude is handling the first pass, so human review gets sharper and faster. The third unlock is code search across repositories. This sounds simple, but it is genuinely powerful. If you work across multiple repos or on a large code base, finding where something is implemented or where a pattern is used across projects is painful. With the GitHub MCP server, Claude can run cross-repository code search in real time. Ask it where a specific function is used across all your repos, and it finds it. Ask it to find every instance of a deprecated pattern across your codebase, and it maps it out. This is the kind of thing that used to take 20 minutes of manual grep commands. And the fourth thing, the one that ties all of this together, is workflow automation. This is where Claude Code stops being a tool you use and starts being an agent that runs your entire development cycle. Analyze a failing service, query the logs, fix the issue in the code, commit the changes, push the PR, and notify the team. That entire sequence can run with one instruction, no context switching, no copy-pasting between tabs, no explaining the same thing to 4 different tools. Claude handles the full loop from terminal to GitHub to done. Now here is the one thing you need to know before you install it. Token scope matters. When you set up the GitHub MCP server, you will authenticate with a personal access token. Make sure you give it the right scopes for what you want to do. If you want read and write access to issues and PRs, you need the repo scope. If you only want read access to public repos, you can lock it down further with a read-only scope. The server actually supports a lockdown mode via a header that prevents any write operations if you want to be safe while you are getting started. Start with that if you are cautious. You can always expand access later. The setup itself takes about 3 minutes. One command in your terminal to add the server, authenticate with your token, restart Claude Code, and it is live. From that point on, Claude has access to everything in your GitHub account. And the difference in how sessions feel, especially on projects you are actively developing, is immediate. You stop re-explaining context that already exists in your issues and PRs. Claude already knows it. So if you are going to install one MCP server today, and you should, make it this one. GitHub is the highest impact install for the widest range of Claude Code users. It does not matter if you are a solo builder, working on a team, or running a small agency. If you have a GitHub account and you're using Claude Code, this server closes the gap between where Claude lives and where your actual work happens. In the next video, I am going to show you exactly how I set this up and use it in a real live workflow from issue to merge PR without leaving Claude Code once. Make sure you are subscribed so you catch that one when it drops. That wraps it up. If this helped, drop a like. If you want to keep building with AI and Claude Code, subscribe. New videos every week. See you in the next one.